All right, we're having a little fun with the title of this one. So it's Tweaks and Traits.
Tweaks and Traits.
We thought it was Tweaks and Freaks for a minute.
Freaks,
or
Tweaks for Weeks.
Yeah, Tweaks for Weeks. So one of the major things, as you know, with any project is trying to get it to a point where you're actually content with it. And I think if you work as hard as we've worked, that point doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But then it becomes a point of just acceptance where you're just like, okay, like we got to move on to the next thing. So I think we're going to spend this episode really just breaking down a lot of the traits of our project, because we feel that that's, exciting and interesting and what makes it what it is.
Yep.
So Mike's going to lead the conversation and I'll chime in when I feel necessary. I get it like some sort of great idea.
So, and you go to the website, Twitter, all those kind of social medias, you'll see the most of the art and the icons and sort of what the tokens are going to look like. You'll see the showcase on the website. So the idea was a coin, the metals, right? So we started like thinking about what the metals would be during that process, right? When people have gold coins, silver coins, right? And so then we were like, well, what can we do? We need some variations, right? I think that was like the big thing. Like, what are our variations, right? And so I remember the designer sent me a variation of a gold coin that had like scratches on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, was that intentional? Was it not? I think they were just trying to beef it up. And I was like, oh, well, maybe that's actually a trait. Like some are scratches, some are not.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful. And so we have 5 base metals we came up with, and it's gold, silver, a platinum. We had a white gold that we called a platinum. It's a platinum. It's a lighter, color. A rose gold, which is like that was the last edition we came up with as an extra trait, and it was really great. It's great. And then copper. Yeah, it's a sexy one.
Not as sexy.
And then copper was really but that was also looks really nice on a lot of the work. So, but what we wanted is that there would be varying metals within the coin, right? So you see some, we're in the United States, but some of the European currency, funny enough, one of the coins we were working on with some of the traits, the designers in Argentina was like, oh, that looks like a coin from, Argentina, right? So like it was this idea of like mixed metals, right? So we have 3 different rings around the coin, and it's the same 5 base metals, but it's all going to mix when it's minting, right? So, you may get there's a chance you can get a purely gold everything coin, right? But then probably you might get, maybe there's a silver ring, a platinum base, and a rose gold icon, right? So there's the coins, the rings around the coins, there's the icon in the middle, right?
Which is really cool.
And they're really cool. We came up with 20 icons. It's actually 10, which are crypto sort of symbols, I guess we could say, we came up with, or at least terms that we thought of, and I can name them really quick, but it was like, apes are really big in the crypto world, right? You hear a bull run all the time, or bear market and stuff, so we did a bull and a bear. People always talk about going to the moon, or, and all that, right? Coins mooning and crypto mooning. So we have actual moon.
Yeah, we have the Lambo.
We have a Lambo.
Diamond, money bags.
Yeah.
And
like shitcoin, right? Like the poo emoji. So we basically have 2 versions of each of those. Yeah. So we made 20. Then what we did was there was one point where we were like, oh, we want something even more rare, something more interesting. And we were like, a lot of this had all metal, sort of like fine and fancy, right? And then we were like, well, a lot of the NFT art also was like fun, cartoony, like, really cool looking. And so the artist, we said, can you do 10 additional like plays on those icons, right? Sort of like versions of them, not exact ones. And came up with 10 amazing, which I haven't put on Twitter yet, but like amazing, like sort of 10 versions.
Yeah, they're going to be one-on-ones. They're basically going to be the chase ones. Like, we want to mint them for ourselves and do giveaways with them, but apparently that's like a shady tactic within the community. So whoever gets lucky, good luck. That's right. Hopefully
and that'll be your most rare for sure.
Yeah, and then we also, as we talked about in an earlier episode, we had the sneakers, which are going to be on about 500 of 5,000.
Yeah, like so 10%.
And those have their own, randomly generated features, the tongue,
That's
the
right.
laces, the pants, the sole,
The rim color of the shoe and all that. The socks. And that's really cool. So that's 10% of the collection. So that's like additional trade, right? So there are quite a bit of variations, even though it's maybe more of a simpler, sort of design. But I think we were going for that. This is like a simple, blockchain of fame. You're inducting yourself. It's like more like we're thinking, is it a plaque, is it an engraving, like that kind of eliteness. So it wasn't so wild and out there, right? And I think it definitely invokes that from what like we've gotten feedback from. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and then just like the tweaks as we went along.
Oh yeah.
Were really just a lot of based around the art. I mean, there's still a few traits that I don't know if we touched on where we have the rainbow coin, we have the stars.
That's right. We have an overlay for star,
we have
rainbow
scratches,
we have like
shiny
a cracked
polish.
mosaic, right?
Yeah, and it's like it's cool. You'll see it, and if you look on our website in the showcase.
Some might get the sparkle, some might not.
The diamond lettering, the background colors. We have different like white marble,
8 different
red.
background
Yeah,
colors.
so it's like really, and all that stuff is on the website and in the traits, and it's just really cool. But tweaking everything, it was just really a great process and a great learning process because we had to factor in all those rarities, and we just kept wanting to, if I was buying this, is it good enough? And that's why we said, well, what if we made this more rare, or what if we added to this or that or the other thing? And that's how we got the sneakers back in. That's how we got the cartoon icons back in. That's how we went from one version of an icon to 2. And instead of 1 or 2 metals, 5. And
that's right.
You got to bulk up the traits, but we wanted them to be meaningful.
That's right.
We didn't want to just throw some things in there.
One trait I don't want to forget, and I know because we're gonna run out of time maybe, but when you mint it, your name's on it because I have a standard gold for the font, but it's a block lettering font. And then we've also played around with a script lettering font.
Yeah.
And so what the developer's working on, and we haven't tested it yet, but that you will be able to choose script or block.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be really cool because it adds another layer of personality.
Yeah.
So
and I was very much pushing for that option, and our developer specifically was like, I'm doing this for Chris, and I was like, oh my gosh.
He's like, I don't get to talk to Chris at 3 in the morning as much, so I'll do it for Chris. So hopefully it's going to work out. He actually has a really vested interest. We got really lucky.
Yeah, he's great.
He's like, this is really, really good.
Yeah.
The technical and art time that's gone into this deserves to really, really be successful.
The smart contract is going to be a thing of beauty that only a few people understand how to read code, which is not me.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
He seems to have reinvented some ways that we could do things. So I think
it's going to be great because when we break that down, as we talked about, which is another tweak, is like, okay, you minted it, and let's say you need money one day, you just want to get out of the project, whatever. That's fine. We're not, we wish you would stay, but
sure.
You sell it, and then that new owner gets to go into our engravers lounge and really just change it and put up their own name and take ownership of that. And I think that's really something that he worked very hard on, and we wanted to give people the option, to really be able to tweak it and make it their own.
For sure.
Especially if they don't want to be famous anymore, that's okay. Somebody else, I'm sure, will roll right up into that one of 5,000 spaces. And one thing we didn't mention, and I know our storage is running low, so we're trying to beat it, but it's really important to think about what we're trying to do with the whole blockchain of fame. And Mike and I have really spent a lot of time saying, okay, we're going to stop at 5,000, but of those 5,000, we want to do some really cool things with wings within the Hall of Fame. And I don't mean wings like a bird. I mean different areas.
Like favorite crypto coin wing, and so maybe there'll be a blockchain for Ethereum, a blockchain for Bitcoin. I mean a token for Bitcoin. Ethereum. So the community will vote on sort of the extensions of those wings.
Yeah, and I think that's going to really bring everybody in because they'll have a vested interest. If we get any celebrities or influencers or founders, or specific type of coins or NFT projects or collaborations going on, that just brings us all closer together. You get to know your neighbors on the blockchain of fame a little bit better. I know I wouldn't mind being next to somebody who's famous when I'm in my own one. Hopefully I'm not next to Mike because, we've been doing a lot of the next two. But you know, like ultimately the tweaks were a necessary evil, but they got us to a point in the project that we are very content. We're very proud of this, and we can't wait to share it with you. So thanks for popping in on this episode. The next episode is going to be about promotion. That's still going on, so we're going to like put a pin in this for tonight, get some sleep possibly, and then we're going to update you on the promotion. But like I said at the end of every episode, and if we didn't say it, please hit up the socials, pop in the Discord. We're going to talk more about the Discord in the next episode. Go on that website, get your mind set around Cyber Monday, save some of your ETH. Don't forget about gas fees, you know, and save it for some Blockchain of Fame NFTs.
And you know, Chris, I didn't ask Chris this right before we're ending this, but I bet you have more questions. Like if you actually are like, I want to launch this project, and like, hey, you kind of want to know more about that piece that you did. You know, there's so many people doing like AMAs with these projects. So like, I definitely think at launch, like, especially if we hit maybe a certain number of likes and subscribes on this, that like we might want to do something like that.
Put anything you're curious about in the comments.
Put questions in the comments for now, you know, and I think we'll be able to get to them and see what we can do.
Okay, well that wraps us for now. Thanks so much.